Greetings and welcome to Star Trek Discovery Pod, a sometimes funny, trying to be smart podcast covering all things new and classic Trek. Do you want me to do that again for the camera? I am your captain, Myrriah Gossett. With me on the view screen, we have
Clyde Haynes. Hey, if you're starting to date someone, nothing like being trapped on an alien planet where you might die to test how strong those love bonds really are. Just saying. Think about it.
good advice.
Uh,
Good advice.
I'm ancient and evil. Paul Sitachit.
Hey, I'm Mike Moody Garcia, and if Lon ever needs another steady dance partner,
I'm there.
I will clear my dance card. No hesitation. Just putting that out there.
Get in line, buddy. Get in line.
Clyde declared his undying crush on Christina Chong last week. Yeah.
This is the PC equivalent of calling dibs.
But we are not talking about dancing tonight. No, we are talking about Through the Lens of Time, episode 5 of season 3, which was directed by Andy Armanganian and written by Anitra Johnson and Davey Perez. Before we dive in, we are not live tonight, unfortunately. However, you can share the show with a friend. You can subscribe, rate, and review on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can hit that notification bell so you know when we are going live. Links and more at StarTrekPod.co. And Paul, where can people, like, if they want more stuff, go?
Well, usually you go to the store. I go to Vaughn's, which is a local supermarket chain. But you can go to StarTrekPod.co to subscribe on Apple, Spotify.
I already said that, Paul.
Oh,
Were
you
not
did?
paying attention? I was asking where people can go for more than just subscribing.
And then I was going to get to the second part.
The store.
You could
already said the store.
And that was not an okay answer. But you can join us on Patreon to get access to our Slack community where you get so much community. Like, it's
Indeed.
a Slack community, but like the emphasis is on community.
Yes,
Like,
things are going
we have
on
hot
there.
dog talk. We got the peanut hamper fan club. It's lit there.
It's hanging out. People are hanging out. There's watch alongs, all kinds of stuff going on.
There's a lot of people on there. They're talking right now.
They are talking right now.
You guys.
They have watch alongs almost every single night. So if you want to watch a lot of Trek with a fun community, that is the place to do so. And it's just $2 to hang out with us. So
look at that. It's popping off. It's popping off right now.
They like to watch the episode, like the brand new episode on Thursdays right before the pod. And then they come hang out in the pod. You too could do that. It's a lot of fun.
Indeed. Okay, since we are not live tonight, we don't have a way to interact with people, but we still want to hear your comments. You can hit us up on Slack, or you can put some comments down below if this is on YouTube, or leave us a review on Apple. Let us know what you thought of this episode. All of that is fantastic.
5 stars, please. 5 stars.
5 stars. Ideally 5 stars. Yes. Okay. Are y'all ready to dig in about this episode?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I think it is time for some It's time for some hot breaks. Mike, since you weren't with us last week, what did you think of this episode?
I think I missed out on 2 weeks, and honestly, I wish I was here talking about those last 2 episodes, which I loved, especially episode 4, A Space-Time Adventure Hour. I think that's what it was called. That was a banger. That was an absolute banger. I like this one, but it didn't nearly reach the highs of the previous 2. The pacing felt slow. The trapped in a puzzle box storyline felt kind of muddled with no clear, like, compelling through line. It felt like just a bunch of like different weird sci-fi ideas thrown in a blender. I don't know. The possession plot on the ship, I thought was good. It brought like some good, strong, like, character conflict and some danger into the episode. That was pretty compelling. But I don't know. As we got towards the end, the possession.
Mike, you've been sucked into the portal. Can you still see us?
I'm back. I'm back.
Watching reality.
Right. I don't know. The possession twist felt kind of confusing, kind of tacked on, not really realized in any satisfying way. It felt like a lot like a spinning its wheels episode
Mm.
which is kind of a middle of the road episode. And while I mean, the acting and the production is always really good on this show, and that kind of like held me through. Um, I don't know I really wasn't vibing with this episode, but I know like there's going to be stuff that's going to pay off down the
Mhm.
line. Um, this wasn't my least favorite episode of the season. I know you all liked the Reese Darby episode. I didn't care for that one, but I don't know. This wasn't great. Um, but I am at a point with this show where just seeing this cast together already, I love them. I didn't really get there in season 1 or 2, but now I think they've really gelled and they're so talented. And I think the more that this show gives them to do, where they play kind of outside of their character or they do things that are unexpected, the more I love them. And I don't know, I'll enjoy pretty much anything with this cast. That being said, the story didn't grab me.
Clyde, what about you?
I look, I love Trek, so I enjoyed having new Trek to watch, but there were a couple elements that seemed a little bit interesting to me. So one being, I was trying to figure out if this was a setup for a bigger villain, overarching kind of
Oh, we have
storyline,
Myrriah
which,
theories coming.
oh, I'm
Don't you worry,
sure.
Clyde.
The idea of that bothers me a little bit because that felt very Discovery-esque. And it's not
Mm.
that I didn't like Discovery, I love Discovery. But I think Discovery was Discovery, and what I enjoy about this is it has a bit more of an episodic week to week arc. And so the idea that we might be setting up this kind of, what is it, the red, whatever, the in Discovery, we had all these villains
Oh,
that were like these,
the Red Angel.
the Red Angel. We've had all these like overarching, long, like mysterious. What is it? Like I was like, "Ah, I don't want that. Give me the week to week where we can be with this cast as they solve the latest mystery." So I'm kind of concerned about that just a little bit. I also kind of felt like this cast looks really, really young, and I think the thing that was interesting is they don't always act really young. This was an episode where I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Like you're making some interesting choices. Like you're down on the planet and Uhura is playing Google Eyes with the documentary filmmaker. I'm like, you do know you're on a strange world that could be a prison. Like this is not a time to be chilling. And then I
You've been
I would
married too
say
long,
I
Clyde.
like I know, I know. I like Gamble. I was really excited about Gamble, but on one hand, like, what are you doing? Like, you pick up something and you put it in front of your face. Are you stupid? Like,
It it,
what is
it was giving Prometheus, right? In
just
Prometheus,
like
they just
Mm.
kind of go into this thing and they touch everything, then they fucking
Mhm.
no?
all
You just
die. Yeah.
like you don't know what's going on. You can't figure anything out. It's ancient. You don't touch anything. Like you touch nothing. This is like 101 stuff. So on one hand, I was like, what's going on? But on the other hand, I thought you introduced us to this new character a couple episodes ago. As much as I want to like Gamble, I haven't really been around him enough to have the emotional weight of losing him. And so I was trying to figure out, does this feel like a character that I'm truly has evoked an emotion for me, or is this a red shirt who's just not wearing a red shirt? That's where I
Mm.
was to go with this. And so had a couple things that I was trying to sort through. Was like, oh, I can't wait to talk to the group. Maybe they can help me figure it out. I have a Myrriah theory. Paula drop some knowledge on me. Michael tell me where I'm wrong. And at the end of the pod, I'll know more. I'll like the episode more or less. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong
Paul, what
about
about
the
you?
Uhura thing because like that's a handsome young man she's talking to. I would forget if I were her, I would forget putting up my, whatever
No.
she was doing to talk to that guy. Yeah.
I'm trying to live. I don't care how cute you are. I'm not forgetting nothing. The goal is to be cutesy back on the ship, not
Mm-mm.
when your life is in danger. That's all I'm saying.
I think
Seize the day.
I think
Seize
that
the day.
reveals more about you, Clyde, than the episode.
probably, probably, Paul. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Seize the day. Get your flirt on. Maybe get your fuck on. Away from the ship on an away mission. It's all good.
you know. So,
It's a lot of
what
dirt,
about
Mike. It's a
a
lot
lot
of
of dirt?
dirt and sand.
That Toronto pit they've used for at least 3 movies and 4 shows at this point.
Yeah, it's a very famous pit. Like it's a very
Very famous
common
pit.
thing amongst all alien planets. It's like they're gonna do episode like why is this pit in every single planet? Who knows?
Yeah, that quarry in Toronto is getting used. Did you have a hot freak to share, Paul?
I thought it was all right. Like I think like we had like 4 amazing episodes. I think it's and I talked about this last week how um
3.
like you can't like the stakes are just so high and like to escalate 10 episodes in a row is like betting blackjack to double your money like in 10 it's not gonna it's a very hard mathematically impossible thing. I thought the
But
episode like I
wait,
thought
wait, wait, Paul, I got a
yeah,
question about that though. I got a
yeah,
question
yeah, 100%.
because
I'm right
you
here.
did say that, but I thought that the idea was
Oh,
when you
by the way,
go from.
those kids are at like $200,000 right now.
That's so
Like
crazy.
uh,
I'm just
Uh,
I'm just saying that I thought when we went from 22
oh,
and 24 and 26 episodes down
mhm,
to 13 and
sure.
10, the whole point was that it was like instead of getting 20 a set of 22 episodes where like 15 were good and you had
Mhm.
some in there that were kind of filler, that the idea with 10 episodes it was supposed to be like 10 solid gold great episodes. So you're telling me even with 10 we can't expect 10 back to back to back to back just golden episodes?
Well, I would say this to you, like like my retort to that is like imagine trying to trying to do next gen right now at 22 episodes in 1 year with the level of sophistication that needs to happen with
Sounds wonderful.
a fan base that is like exponentially
Unhappy with
more.
everything.
Yeah, like that's the real problem. The real problem is like
I
you you go, Mariah.
I mean, just to like get my little hot freak in before we really like dive in is just to say I think I'm also somewhere in the middle, but I think to your point I think where you're going, Paul, is in order to accurately build while this show does have a more serial opportunity in the way the episodes are set up, it is still like um sorry, an episodic like format to it. It still is a serialized show. And so we have to build to things to get to the end. And so to me, like I think what we're all feeling, and this was a middle episode, but if you're planning the arc of a season, like you have to have some connective tissue episodes. And I think this
Sure.
was a interesting way to do the connective tissue episode.
Yeah, let me phrase it to you this
Yeah.
way, Clyde. Season 5 of Next Gen. No, not season 5. Season
Mhm,
3 of Next Gen. What was the season
mhm.
finale?
Borg.
I
Yeah.
was bored.
Was it or was that season 4? Like,
3?
I don't know. It's
whereas
hard
I
to
go,
know. It's hard to know.
whereas like what's the end of season 1 in Discovery?
Uh, Lorca's dead.
Great. What's the end of season 2?
What is it? So we're back from
Control.
Control. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I see your point.
It's just like like the appetite is different. Like the like now we're building to something. So per
Yeah.
Myrriah's statement, like like there needs to be like we've moved from like it's a rare show that is exclusively episodic nowadays. It's either serialized or hybrid.
Yeah.
Those are what
Yeah.
the audience
Hmm.
tends to want.
It's
Uh,
lightly serialized. It reminds me of Fringe,
yeah, yeah,
back in the day
Fringe
where
or like
yeah.
Poker Face, I think is a good example too, where it is that like
Mhm.
mystery mission of the week, but it's building to something as well.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think they're obviously trying to, I mean, this whole episode is just the relationships, right? So you have Corby with Spock and like this duality of what's going on, and then you have Chapel and Lon. So we're like, okay, we're going to divide up the couples and put them in these more interesting pairings to see how their behavior is with each other, right?
There was no real meat there. Like I know the episode started out with us with the show wanting to dive into those relationships
Mhm.
and where they are now. Spock is no longer with Chapel; she's with this new guy, and then there's a flirtation with Spock and Lon happening. Now
Mhm.
everybody knows about it, so we're kind of dealing with the fallout there, but we didn't really deal with the fallout.
Mhm.
Everyone seems pretty okay, and even if there was some conflict between those relationships in the episode on the planet, it wasn't anything that we haven't explored before with these characters in like the past 2 or 3 episodes. So there wasn't anything really new or anything that got me really invested
Except for the
in
puzzle
the
box.
emotional relationships at
Yeah.
all. And if the sci-fi puzzle box, slipping through different space-time pockets was supposed to be some kind of metaphor for how these relationships are changing and intermingling, that didn't work for me. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I actually don't think that
T
was it, but I could be off.
like
I,
I, I
to
think
me,
I'm ready
this
for
was
Myrriah like
oh, yeah, do we wanna
theory
go
soon.
there? I mean, so
Yeah,
first of
bring it.
all, to me, this was a love letter to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what
yeah.
this episode was for me. And then the other thing is, I think we needed to get to and I wish we had gotten a little bit more time with Marie on the ship, because it's obvious that we're building to whatever is happening with her genetically after she
Sure.
interacts with the I wrote down the name of the being, the Vesda life form. Because I thought that was such an interesting interaction, specifically
Mhm.
how Pelia like also reacted to it being an ancient being herself, and like this idea. I'm very excited about the introduction of a potential ancient, like benevolent evil entity that is now being introduced here. And here is my Myrriah theory. So when Spock,
We need music though.
I
We
know
do
we should
need
probably
music.
get a theme song. Um, but
The
yeah, I
Spock.
think there's a banner somewhere in our things, but it's fine. Okay. So when the light grenades, for lack of a better term, right, when Spock is looking at them with the little goggles on,
Yep.
and one pops up. Yes, there it is, Myrriah prediction. So when it pops up, there is like an alien looking being face there, right? When it comes
Mhm.
out, and I paused it, and it is not Gorn. It's not a Gorn entity.
Mhm.
So what I
Yeah.
think it is based on the way Marie reacted to it, that it is an Undine, also known as species 8472, which is from fluidic space. So it
Huh.
makes sense if it's traveling through these
Mhm.
interdimensional like portals that I guess are being opened for people to be immortal. And from the Star Trek Online storyline, the Klingons discovered that the Gorn had been heavily infiltrated by the Undine, or species 8472. I'm probably also pronouncing that wrong. People can read me for filth, whatever. Which is what inevitably leads to the Klingon invasion. So the Gorn in species 8472 have an ancient history, according to the video game. So if we're
Okay.
playing with some canon and essentially trying to build upon the Gorn storyline through the rest of the season, is it potentially this conflict between species 8472 and the Gorn, and then something with the Klingon? Like there's an interesting triangulation happening, I think, from
So for
there.
more context, 8472 was first shown to us on screen on Voyager.
Correct.
When they got into fluidic space, and every now and then
Mhm.
they would be a major villain for like 3 or 4 episodes, and they were super hard to kill and hard to
Yep.
find and all that, and was really, really bad early 90s CGI, which was always
Yeah.
fun.
Yes.
It was
Very
it
bad
was it
CGI.
was era appropriate CGI.
Yes.
Yes. They were doing the
Really
best
bad.
they
That's
could.
it.
Yes.
But
Uh,
yeah, they're considered like a really highly developed in biology with organic technology. The Borg considered them to be superior even to themselves. So it's like if the Macroon had like ancient Macroons had figured out how to use fluidic space to extend their life via this interdimensional like space that they were able to sort of create in this temple jail place. But unfortunately, if it involves traveling through fluidic space, perhaps it was bringing back some of 8472, and then they found a way to keep them contained with these like almost like Ghostbusters like
Yeah,
capsules.
yeah. I mean, it's a theory. Like I would say that like those guys have, how should I say in the best way? Like their mandate is exterminate like all inferior. So like I feel like that would be unlikely because they
I, based on the
just
way it interacted with Gamble, or
like I don't like those guys are so powerful that like no Gorn would be able to take it out. Like that it's
but
like
yeah, but the Gorn didn't take them out.
oh
This is
I understand, but
yeah.
like the moment like if anyone had interaction with them, they're gone. Like
W-
if they stick to the power levels at canon.
Then
Uh,
who imprisoned them?
well, this is why I
the
don't know what
ancient
it is.
runes or
I,
whatever.
like there are
Mhm.
tons of like people who have power to do that, like the preservers, for example, like the ones that the Kirk planet one where they played musical instruments, like those
Yeah, yeah.
guys like this. My I feel like they've decided to introduce these guys as a long arc for the season. I think
Hmm.
it's the thing that that's inside Marie and that Spock touched, that wasn't Gorn. You
But
know,
it is Gorn.
I don't. I think what they're trying to say is like it's
Ah.
actually not Gorn here. I like in trying to control the Gorn pain, they touch something else.
Hmm.
That's what I
Hmm.
think they're setting up. And then Spock recognized this is that something else. And my hope is that it's something that we go like, oh, this is canon. This is like this is Paul tells us that. Thank you. That's my hope. Like another species that did this kind of like here not there is in next gen. Remember the Paradise Planet where Wesley like falls into like a planner and is going to be sentenced to death.
Hmm.
Those hot people, the god creature in the sky was there, not there, in the same way that like this quantum flux is being described.
Hmm.
So like I thought that was interesting.
And the idea, the introduction of the quantum flux theory or device would make sense if we're or might quell some of the um, negative comments about if it is a species that we've seen before in the future,
Hmm.
like they can just come into this space time flux thing. So I guess that might
Totally.
make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
but
know,
can I ask you guys? Did you,
yeah.
even though we're like coming up with theories about what this evil presence is it going to be the big bad of the season? Did you find it compelling at all? Like to me, it just, the introduction of it just felt really vague and magical and
Um,
mystical and kind of disconnected from everything. I mean, I'm not
I
against a little
mean,
magic in my sci-fi, but I was just
mhm.
asking questions that didn't get answered
I
throughout the
mean, I
whole
think
episode. Like, what even is this? How does it work? It wasn't
yeah.
clear at all. It wasn't compelling. It was just like, oh, okay, here's the thing.
I mean, to me, it seemed like it was some kind of entity that's looking for a corporeal form, and it was able to. I mean, at one point, Mbenga says like, "Oh, technically your brain isn't functioning anymore." So it's like using him as a host. So it's acting like a parasite, which is like a common thing used in sci-fi and I think based in some science. Now, how did it infiltrate? I mean, it went through his eyes into his brain, seemingly. At first, like I don't know if y'all got this. At first, when they put the thing on his face, I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like an early like
Jody, yeah.
nod to Jordy?"
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
You know, I
like, "Oh, is
was
this
all over that. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah," and I was like, "Oh, that could be kind of cool, like if that's where they're gonna bring this character," but obviously not by the end of it. Um, but I didn't mind it. I was more like, "Oh, okay, I'm along." I'm like, if we can sit through a queue, like why not? You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like,
like to answer your question, Mike, like I thought that this was a thankless episode. I think like someone goes
Yeah.
like, we need to set up these things, make it work, and someone
Hmm.
came up with this, and it
And then
was
Davy Perez says, "Can I write my love letter to Indiana Jones?" And they're like,
that's
"Yeah,
right.
have fun."
And then ultimately, I don't think it got enough love to become tight. Like
Mhm.
you could see where the themes are trying to be hit, like but I don't think it gelled in a way that was accessible. I mean,
Right.
I
I
also had such high hopes from the first shot of the big palace and like when
mhm,
they were down on the excavation
yeah,
site
yeah.
because I was like, "Oh, they're going to spend some money," but then I went, "Oh no, we're going to be in the same room on
But the room
the
was very
VFX."
pretty.
The room was
It's pretty
pretty.
real.
We're on
Yeah,
the,
Yeah.
the
the,
volume
the
wall.
volume. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The background kit like shifting,
yeah.
like MC
I
Escher
Yeah.
style. That was cool.
Yeah.
I think my issue, Mike, to answer your question is it didn't quite connect for me. Like I feel like I went into my I'll just go along and
Yeah.
believe what you're telling me.
Yeah.
But when I started to think about it, what I realize is, as you all know, my favorite series is TNG. And what I love about TNG is that there's always this moment where they come into the captain's ready room and they basically explain everything to us, right? Like you get all of this information about, well, here's what's happening, here's what we've learned, and this is what we do, and let's think about it. This felt like stuff is happening, but you haven't stopped to actually tell me
Mhm,
what's happening,
sure.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
no connective. And then, Myrriah, to your point, we've got this whole people, I'm gonna mess
Macaron
this up, but the
macaroons.
macaroons. Um, and there's an opportunity there for us to connect with this culture, to like
Mhm.
have a moment. Like I would love a cold open where maybe we're walking through their city and we're understanding them and their culture just a little bit, because I feel like then it might have connected to this palace that we're seeing, that now maybe I understand that they have superior technology or something that
Mhm.
goes, oh, it would make sense why they were the keepers of these deep dark beings. And then having somebody go, all right, here's what's going on, I'm like, great, now I'm along for the ride and you've helped me understand what it is. This felt more like a poem where I'm left to my own interpretation.
Yeah, it was distracting, right? You had all these questions while you're watching it, and why is this happening? Where does this thing come from? How did a ghost pop out of a light bulb and attack this guy? I don't know.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
it was a light bulb
it was a light
grenade.
bulb. Yeah,
Grenade. So
light bulb grenade. Yeah.
the way that I look at it is like for a puzzle box like this or a mystery, like what you need to do is to make the solution, uh, what you call it, satisfying. And ultimately, the solution for walking for this episode is like, oh, cause and effect don't
Mhm.
correlate. So the step should go like, oh my god, she's going to do it, blah, or whatever. And there was only one hint that the cause and effect was not, and that was Spock's cutting, his
Mhm.
hand, and I was going like, that seems like lazy. Like it seemed like it didn't seem like it was part of the pieces that you were setting up. So ultimately, what you have is like some emotional stuff, some serialized stuff, and a puzzle box that isn't optimized to really create, you know, the sense of
Yeah.
like satisfaction.
Yeah.
I think if there
No, well
had been
said.
a harder ticking clock
Hmm.
in the puzzle box room as well,
Mhm.
like
Sure.
either an
So some
injury or
urgency,
like a some sort of urgency, I think would have
like
helped
like
that
a
a lot.
bomb.
Yeah, or just like even like an hourglass that's
Yeah, yeah,
ticking and or like
sure.
the wall is coming to, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like the classics, if you're gonna like, I think
Well,
tip your hat to Indiana Jones is like set up the boulder, you know what I
yeah,
mean, with the
100%.
traps and have some more like
Or
fun things there.
yeah, I mean, yeah, the Indiana Jones, what happens in Last Crusade when they obviously reference here when they go across the Invisible
Mhm.
Bridge. Um, Papa Jones, John Connery, is shot right before Indy has to
Right.
go through the entire maze. So that is a ticking clock. You know,
Mhm.
put somebody in peril. Nobody was really
Sure.
in peril down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I don't know if they were trying to use Gamble in peril, but it wasn't like, "Oh, there's a potential cure for Gamble if we get to the other side of this,"
Right.
yep, yep.
or anything along those types of lines. And I thought it was strange because at one point, like, it almost looked like a time turning device
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
like what
Mhm.
appeared when they all were
Uh-huh.
finally together. And I was like, oh, is this going to finally be the thing that's like, I don't know, some sort of device that's going to be the key to what they're doing. I also thought it would have been more interesting, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, but if Corby tried to take something out. Just I was like, "Oh, I want
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
reason to maybe not like him as much. Maybe he takes something
Well, if it
from
means
this
that he
temple or."
dies, he dies. So like
Yeah,
so
I know
you,
he
so
does eventually die. So I'm like, I
yeah.
know he's
Okay.
not going to now, but
He dies of frostbite. Like
Well,
Corby is in the original series, right?
yep, yep.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
well, I think part of it though is that was the interesting thing for me is that as we have these couples who are all pretty new, and
And
you've got
pretty.
these and pretty,
And pretty.
and you've got these two characters who are almost like new cast members, and we're trying to establish something with them.
Mhm.
I look at Corby and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to like you. There's a reason why I didn't really like you in the first episode. You're kind of a tool. Like you don't get the bigger picture. Like
Why do
you're
you hate people, Clyde? Like you hated our
Shaw.
Picard season 3 captain who's only doing his job. This guy is only being nice, Christine. He gave her the stars, sun, and moon in a
Listen,
bracelet. Like
I
I don't understand, Clyde. You just
I
hate
I got
people.
no
I
problem
liked
with
him
him and
until this
Christine.
episode.
He just kind of like, here's the deal. Actually, that's not fair for me not to like him in the last episode. I didn't like what Christine did. Like you brought a new dude home where you knew your old boyfriend has to be because that's his house.
They're on a
Like
break.
that
They're on a
still
break.
like
No, no,
still that's
we're
kind of
yeah,
a
no,
that's not
no,
a great move.
no.
But I think in this episode, I'm always gonna push past people who break some of the unwritten Star Trek rules. And you're like,
Mhm.
it's dangerous. Like you're super excited about this, but at the crux of it, this is super dangerous. And anytime somebody goes, hey, maybe we should just check in and make sure everybody knows. No, why? You're just trying to stop it. Like, look, moron, there's a starship up there, and if we need help, we should probably let them know what's going
Mhm.
on. But you just want to keep picking up ancient artifacts. He
But
was bothering me in this episode.
no,
I was like, dude, get a grip.
Yeah.
that's another example where I would go like, oh, not enough love, because like that whole argument about, oh, like should we go and talk to the ship right now? It all
That
gets
was
undone.
boring, right?
Yeah, but it all like
Sure.
Big time.
I see what they're trying to do. They're going like, oh, is Christine going to choose Spock's, like or Corby, and she chooses Corby. That's what they're trying to do. But the but that's the subtext. But the overtext is basically, should we talk to our ship? No. And then like in 3 minutes, someone's face explodes, and they're going talking to ship anyway. So
Right. So
so
I was
so
just
so,
like,
so
it broke all the
it's
tension.
exactly. So there just didn't seem to be a cohesive progression of the style of episode that they wanted. Like it and
It
I'm
also
not.
felt a little too easy at times, I think,
Mhm.
for a puzzle box. Like, oh, Christine can just walk up and prick her finger and there's no side effects to this, or there's no, the first task should be I guess like a little easy to lull you into a sense of security, but I think I was waiting for more
Mhm.
trials a la, like Last Crusade, right? Like there's the
Yeah.
different challenges you kind of have to meet, the puzzles you have to solve that
Sure.
help you solve the bigger puzzle. And essentially they were like, oh, we have the two pieces of the puzzle that put us all back together. We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to leave the
Mhm.
rooms.
Yeah.
And I thought the device of the camera could have also been used in more fun ways
Like
to like.
I hated the camera, like on the what you call it, on the planet, because oh, we're all together. And it goes like, how does this freaking thing see three quantum dimensions? Like like
Not
it did
not
a
just that.
that's an iPhone 24. That's what.
Not, not not just that, but the way that he explained how the camera works.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I don't need a camera operator. I don't need to artistically tell it what to shoot. The AI does all that.
yeah. No,
That's
I
no,
not a
guys,
good
hated that
message.
too.
That's not
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
I was
guys,
like,
message right
"Guys,
now.
what did we
Come
just
on.
go on
Then why
strike
are
for,
you
guys?
here?
Why did we
Then
go
why
on
are you
strike?"
here? Like
Yeah.
if it's doing it, why do I need you?
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a weird choice to put that in.
There was just a lot of things. Like I feel like assuming that Perez, like wrote the horror stuff. I feel like he got all the on the ship, like fighty monster stuff.
Yeah.
And like, who was the other writer?
Anitra Johnson.
Yeah, like I feel like my wife hates chase sequences. She's like, this I can't, I find it boring. I can't, like, don't you want to see Tom Cruise run? No, I don't want to see Tom Cruise run. All chases suck. And it feels like if this episode was written, like if my wife had to write a chase sequence, like I don't feel the love in on the planet. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, Anitra also wrote Shuttle to Kenfori, so she also knows how to play in horror as well.
Oh, like I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not saying, it's not. I'm not criticizing the writing, because like for all of it, I think the episode's fine. Like I feel
Mhm.
like I'm this isn't really nitpicky. Like, oh, it's a
Yeah,
Star
yeah.
Trek episode. It's not. This isn't a matter. This is only because the last 4 episodes were like amazing Star Trek in a
Yeah.
way that I go like, this is not possible. You cannot have 4 episodes this good like back to back. It's not. It can't be done. And so I'm comparing it to that. But like for all of it, I was like, okay, yeah, here. I wish you set up the what you call it, the non-causality better, but whatever.
I think I
It
agree
was
with you,
good.
Paul.
It didn't have the juice like the
Yeah,
others. Yeah.
I think it's just like when I think back and on how we look at Trek, right? If we're doing watch-alongs and someone says, like, we're in the Slack and someone says, "Hey, Clyde, we want to do a watch-along, you pick it." I'm not picking this episode, right? But if someone else were to pick it, I'm not gonna start berating them and talking
No.
going, "What's wrong with you?"
Sure,
Right? It's
unless
it's
it's
gonna be
Mike.
one of those yeah, this is Mike. I'm just gonna be like, right? Like I think about it this way.
You're gonna be to their face.
No, I'm gonna be it's kind of just like, all right, if this is what you want to watch. I
You just put the
but
vomit emoji in the Slack.
no,
That's
it's
right.
not a vomit emoji. But think about it. Okay, so for some of us old heads, before there was DVR, and you used to, they were watching Star Trek was in syndication, and you'd happen to turn on TBS or TNT or something like that, and Star Trek was on, and you caught it in like minute 8. You'd look over and have to make a decision of, oh, am I gonna sit and watch this, even though
Or
I've seen it already?
or am I gonna donate the kidney like I'm scheduled to?
Or if I'm gonna flip a channel and watch the episode of the Fresh Prince or something that comes on.
Burn notice.
And Burn Notice. It's a great
Burn
one.
notice.
If we're talking about the last episode, I'm gonna go, oh,
I'm sitting
wait,
down.
I'm gonna sit down and watch this. If it's this one, I'm gonna check out Burn Notice.
Like here's like on to be the positive, like like really, there are 2 moments that I feel are the best moments of the season so far. The first moment for me is when Spock goes like, "Oh, I don't deserve you, Christine." Like that speech there, I go,
Mm.
"Mwah, perfect." Like this is like the most. The second is Pelia going, "Something evil, blah blah." Do you need a close up?
Do you want that again for camera?
And I was going like, no notes, like it was just so
That
perfect
was
for
great.
character
I was
reveal, for the meta humor, for all that stuff. I was going like,
And you're just
uh,
like, this is why you hire Carol Kane. This is
yeah,
why you hire her.
Yeah, Pelia being
those are
such
great.
a funny grace note on every scene is perfect.
Those
Mhm.
are great, Paul. And I think as a number 2 and 3 top scenes so far, they're excellent. They're
but
just
you want the dancing of Laan and like the second dance of Laan and Spock. Yeah, I get it. I know who
that's
you
all I'm
is.
saying.
I know who you is, Clyde.
I'm just saying a little tango and a ponytail, that's gotta be the top spot. Outside of that, 100% agree. Just saying.
Love it, love it. But this just still talks to how strong the season is. It's like this is
Yeah.
we're 5 episodes in. Like for me, like this might be the weakest episode of the thing, but the weakest episode's like, yeah, it's fine. Like I have like and everything is so fucking pretty, and
Yeah.
I'm not a person who is swooned by like production value in TV regularly, but I'm going like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
everything
you
it
looked
know,
doesn't look
good.
generic. It doesn't look
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
generic
exactly. That's
sci-fi.
right.
It looks stylized. Yeah.
Exactly. That it looks like someone spent a lot of time going like, oh, let me create for this, as opposed to like say, next gen or in the '90s Trek, where people go like, oh, well, I have the studio flat, of this like 1950s whatever. Hey, let's make an episode that takes place in the 1950s, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything
beam
seems
down on the
custom.
planet and it's 1950 Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Paul. Go ahead, Myrriah.
I was going to say to your point earlier, Clyde, like they spent so much time, I thought, on such a beautiful character design for the Macaroon that I was really sad we didn't get any more embellishment to their society. Like we got to, and like, I was also like, oh, it's interesting. At some points, he's speaking, in English, and then he switches back to his native language, and
Semi
Uhura's
robot.
having to to translate. And I was like, oh, did the like translators stop working? Like it felt like there was a beat missing in the
Sure.
edit of like explaining
Mhm.
why that transition happened.
And there was
Um,
one bit where Gamble goes like, I hear that you have a really interesting vocal range,
yeah,
and then he spoke, and I was going like, is that what you consider interesting, guys? Come on.
it just has reverb on it.
That's right.
But it's like the character design and the costuming were so beautiful, and like the makeup was really really cool. And yeah, like you were saying earlier, Clyde, like I wish we had seen other members of that society or some sort of like, even if it was like in paintings inside of the temple, like I don't know, something that's like
No,
similar to, I think, in Prometheus, even though, that's not my favorite
mhm.
alien movie of the franchise, but I do think it does that good job of like giving you scale of society and scale
Mm.
of the creatures when you're
Yep.
walking through the halls with the giant like helmeted beings and like all of these like ruins and like the way the technology is laid out. I think we could have done a little bit more scene work to help build out the character of that culture.
Well,
And really just to see more of them, more of that design. I mean, that
yeah.
alien creature design was fantastic. In every scene, I couldn't keep my eyes off of him. And then I knew he was going to get eviscerated sooner or later. So when it happened, I knew it was coming, but I was still pretty bummed.
Well,
And I wanted
Yeah.
to see more of them.
I
Maybe
just,
next season
I,
Yeah,
we'll see again.
and for how
I,
scared he was, I was expecting a creature to appear at some point. Weren't
yeah,
y'all like when you're like, "Oh, it's something evil?"
I don't know.
I don't know.
something,
I didn't
but
I didn't have any expectations other than, oh, this is going to be good. And it
well, I
was
think that's part of it though, is if they had given us more about their culture, we might have expected more. I'm drawn to when Star Trek says we're going to open up this episode where we're down on a planet. And I mean, you saw this in like Lower Decks a bunch too, where
Mhm.
it's like, hey, we're walking around and we're seeing the culture and they're interacting. It's like, okay, so now I understand this culture, right? And that was more of a comedy, but this idea of like, all right, so I have a sense of who they are. So now when something happens, I have an emotional connection. Eh, like the costume design and the makeup and the creature makeup was fantastic, phenomenal. But outside of that, I barely
I
can remember that
also
person's name.
I wonder if this was where they cut, like if this is an episode where they did some budget cutting, knowing that we're
Sure.
going towards the back half, and usually the finale is also where we spend a lot of money, right? Because I wonder if there was that more introductory scene and they went, well, we can't do all these actors in all this makeup and all these costumes and set up another set, right? Because ultimately they did one outdoor shoot and then they're on the volume wall and then everything else is on sets they already have. So it's like you
Mhm.
can see where the budget was a little bit tighter in some ways. And like, there's obviously a big VFX budget, but it's not locations act like hard line items
Yeah.
in the
yeah.
same way.
But
Like,
two questions for everybody.
Mhm.
Um, are we really gonna miss Gamble? And do you think Mbenga had some decent emotional character work in this episode?
I say no, no.
Oh,
I would say no, and I think he squeezed as much juice out of that as he could.
the actor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
similar to Clyde. I think Gamble was growing on me, and I think he was a fun comedic beat. But as soon as I don't know. As soon as he picked up the thing on the planet, I went, "Oh no, you're like." As soon
You
as you
deserve
get
to
too
lose your
much,
eyes. Lose your
no, but it's
eyes.
like as soon as
Mariah,
it's
hear
like
that
the
though.
painting was on the wall. It's like eventually, you get the like, "Oh, you got the voiceover. This is your big."
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're muted. Yeah.
Okay,
You, are you still muted, Myrriah?
she's Mariah.
Oh, you're still
Mariah's
muted.
Myrriah, we can't
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can. I will say this, Myrriah, I love what you were saying, but I would go back. The minute he did that awkward introduction to the alien guy, I was like, come on, Starfleet. I expect better. I expect a lot better. Like you about to hug this
Mm.
alien. Like, man, like, did you not read a manual? Was there not a away team briefing or something that you just did
Yeah.
not pay attention to? This is supposed you've been asking for an away mission.
Clyde, he's just a
You
kid.
finally get what that
Just a
no, no,
kid.
no. Kid or not, you're Starfleet. Come on, man.
He's
The
a nurse.
expectations are higher. I'm just
He's a
Starfleet.
he's not he's a baby nurse.
Um,
I
Discovery
mean,
He's a sweet guy.
yeah, I mean,
I
like
thought the
is.
character was really sweet and really likable, but like they didn't build up the character or the relationship between him and
Right.
Mbenga much at all for it to really land emotionally when Mbenga was like supposedly being torn apart by what to do with this guy
yeah,
when
like
the shit started to go down.
one of the things that I thought was really interesting is like they decided to blow out his eyes, and I'm going
Hmm.
like that had nothing to do with anything else. Aside, and so I go like it's a hard look, like walking around with no eyes. I mean, I'm going like this is really grotesque, and I understand why you have the visors on, but like it just seemed really excessive. Like interestingly enough, like your eyes have exploded out of your head, but your face is fine. Like that's some specialized light bulb grenades.
I mean, to your point, there's not a mark on your face.
That's
It's
right.
just your eyes.
Your eyes have exploded out of your sockets.
Just
See,
give him
but
some shades.
this is exactly what I meant. Like at the beginning of it, before talking to you all, I was kind of like, it's a 6.5. And you
Yeah.
guys have kind of talked me into a 4.5, 5. Like,
Oh.
No, like I think it's a fair 5. Like I think it's in the middle of the road. I think there are many episodes like I'd watch this episode more than the forgetting episode, right? Where like last season where like they go on the planet, they keep on forgetting.
oh
Mm,
man,
yeah.
yes, not my favorite.
So I mean like and I don't think the work was not done. I think there was I don't think no work was done. I think they lost a little focus as to
Well, and
what makes
I was thinking about what you said, Paul, and you're actually like, and I like it a lot. Like you talked about how the episodes before this were really, really good. I start thinking about the dialogue. Pelia has great dialogue in this episode.
Mhm.
There's a lot of episodes that have like really subtle, like great dialogue. Like as you said it, I was thinking about that moment that Una has had some killer dialogue moments.
Mhm.
Like when she turns to Ortegas and go, this can't happen again. Like
Beautiful beat,
maybe
right?
it was just like just the moments
It's like cutting
where
into
I,
the
I f-
soul.
I feel like I say that I went from a 6.5 to like a 4.5, 5. The truth is, the other episodes might have been 9s, and this actually might be a 7
Yeah.
in comparison. And so I don't want to negate, like, I don't want us to crap all over the episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a bad
There were
episode.
good. There were really good elements. Like I really like seeing Battelle get possessed and get her like
Yeah.
action hero on.
Yeah.
I think that
Mhm.
was really cool. I think that actor does a great job in that role, even though they're not given a lot. I care about Battelle and what's going on with her.
It's gonna really suck when she dies at the end of the season, isn't it?
I know.
I'm
Like,
not gonna feel anything. I'm sorry.
Here,
I know I'm the outlier. I'm not gonna feel anything.
here's the Paul theory. The
Paul
Paul
theory.
theory is like
Wrong
is
one.
I think they're setting it up. Uh, I think they're setting it up so that like what you call it, Pike has to sacrifice Patel at the last in the finale, and it's
Ooh.
gonna mess him up for season 4 and season 4 is about Pike getting his groove back, and then you'll do a little short, uh, uh, small season for 5, which is probably him like days before like he becomes an invalid. That's
So
my theory. Like like
That makes a ton of sense. I hope you're wrong because it's so predictable, but it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, but like
yeah, but I'll watch Pike. I'll watch an arc of Pike getting his groove back. I
yeah,
mean,
no,
especially
Sure.
if he's in Jamaica with some braids,
no, if you
you
could,
know.
go
some-
Orion, and go
I'll see that.
slave girl dancer, like
He's gonna go
because
to
he's,
Ryza.
Riza. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh. I mean,
Uh,
we never get enough Riser, so again, sign me up.
Oh, what is it? The Amaran?
oh no, it's
What's it called?
like horror goth horror.
Horror.
Anyway,
Uh,
just
no,
whore,
no,
Sexing
just to
whore.
whore it up on Ryza.
that's right.
I didn't say that. Okay, I'm not saying that. That's a
That's
whole
what you do on
different
Riza.
show. That's a different show on a different network. I'm not saying that.
That's
okay?
that's the one that's on Showtime, not Paramount Plus.
That's right.
Okay. I don't. We're not signing up here to watch. Pike's OF account. That's not what I'm saying by any means. I'm just
Only
saying a little
Federation?
light. Only
That's
Federation
right.
account. I'm just saying, like
But
a
let me ask
loose
you this:
Pike that has an arc. I'd watch that. I absolutely watch that.
if Pike or Spock had OnlyFans, would you subscribe, Myrriah?
I'm a supporter of creatives and their endeavors,
That's
so
right. That's right.
I would be happy to.
Horgon, Horgon. That's the
Yeah.
idol in Ryza.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember.
While we're talking about it, though, I'm starting to wonder: are we getting enough Pike?
Well, like I think they've really put Pike on the back seat since season 2 in order to like let the rest of the cast
I also think
shine. But
Mhm.
him and his wife also just had like I think new babies over the last few years. So I wonder too if he maybe asked for a lighter schedule.
Well, because
uh,
okay, so if we're being honest,
let's be
so let
honest,
me let
Clyde.
me let
Like,
me let
can
me
we get Banner, Clyde being honest?
really let me say this. I want to preface this by saying I think this is a truly talented cast from top to bottom. Everybody's really, really impressive. Like, I mean, I think this is an incredible cast. Like, their skill is just phenomenal. That being said, Rebecca Romaine and Anson Mount are probably
Clyde
two of your
Einstein.
heavy hitters when we're talking about acting talent, right? Like they've been in the game a long time. They're very, very good. And I feel like we're
Like in
not
Marvel
getting
Inhumans.
I'm just saying they're Marvel less. They're marvelous.
Uh,
So I kind of wondering why we're not getting more of these stars.
I don't feel I guess replaying the episodes in my head, I get what you're saying, but I haven't felt a lacking of them on screen. There's so
Okay.
many great characters, and I'm just
Yeah.
happy whenever they really spread the love around.
Yeah.
I think
I can
I
feel
think
the captaining happening.
like I feel like the main
Yeah.
characters of this show, the main character show is Spock. Spock is the
Mhm.
main character. Like he gets the most episodes, he gets the
Fair.
most growth, and you can make an argument for why that is. Because like
'Cause he's
it's
so damn handsome.
and also like in
It's
in in TNG,
historically it's interesting too, but I'll let you finish. Hang on.
yeah, like in
Oh, I want to
TNG,
hear
like
that.
who are the main characters? Who's your top two? Your top two is
Picard and
Picard.
Riker.
No, it's not Riker. It's Data. Data gets
Mhm.
paid more.
Yeah.
Like Riker is
Wow.
actually like if you remember Nemesis, Riker has the crappy ass like
Mhm.
storyline of like doing nothing in what you call it in Insurrection. Another like, oh, I'm gonna go outside and come back inside. Like
Hey, Frakes, if you're listening, you're still my guy, man. Don't worry
no,
about it.
I am not saying that. I'm not saying this is not a quality issue. This is just a matter of where the focus is, and
Mhm.
ultimately the focus tends to be on of Star Trek, where discovering humanity, and so Data encapsulates that, and Spock encapsulate that, and it's been almost through all all
Yes.
Trek, and then leadership, and I feel like
So do it for Voyager. Who are the top two people in Voyager?
I think Janeway, definitely, and for all of it, I think it is Chakotay.
Hmm.
Oh no 7 of 9, duh. The moment they put
That
7 of 9, it, like
that's where I was
that's
trying to that's where I was trying
yeah.
to see if you were going. Is
No,
it if
and
we
and
go
that's
through it and track it, is
It
it
wasn't
the
really clear in the
captain?
first few seasons, but yeah, 7 of 9.
Yeah, I
we should
think Balana was like up there for a minute. Like I think they've tried it out a few times on Voyager to figure out who. I think you got your redemption arc story with Paris. Like I think there was different folks who sort of like filled in where they thought that was going, and then you added 7 of 9, and that was like their big
like
home run.
ultimately 7 9 because like Jerry Ryan, smoke show, but more importantly, her character is the character who is discovering humanity. So
Mhm.
like what you call it, D69 doesn't have quite that. D9 also kind of an outlier in
Mhm.
its anyway, that's just my hot
Um,
take.
Yeah, I was going to say what's also interesting from like a historical fan perspective is when the original series came out, Spock was far more popular than
Sure.
Kirk. And
Yep.
it was something that
Hmm.
they had to essentially address in the writer's room by
Yep.
pairing them more often together to get people to like Kirk as much as they like Spock.
Totally.
I
Like
mean, Leonard Nimoy is amazing though. Like
Speaking of liking Kirk, everybody, after last week's episode with Paul Wesley doing a 10 out of 10
Oh my God.
crazy Shatner impression, are we down for Paul Wesley as our new Kirk in the spin-off show Star Trek Year One?
like
Enterprise Year
no.
One. Come on
like
now.
I'm still in. I'm in.
Mike,
I'm in.
Mike, like to be, like you got from, he got from like not Mike Kirk to I see what you're doing. Here is the provisional access card. You are not you're in the trial phase right now.
Mm.
So he said that he's trying to do like
Like a not fully cooked Kirk.
exactly
Yeah.
like pre-Kirk to Kirk. And I go like, okay, I can see what your full Kirk looks like. Thank you for showing me that. If you can like do the recipe to get there, well done. You know, like love.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
but it's a hard task, and again, and I hate to be this way because I feel like I'm so petty. Naked hot dog. Naked freaking hot dog. That's like, it's a little bit like here's where it is for me. It's the movie Passengers, where I'm what you call it. I'm Jennifer
Chris Pratt.
Lawrence. I'm Jennifer Lawrence, and I just found out that Chris Pratt has woke me up and damned me to this existence on the ship for the next 100 years, and yeah, maybe like over a couple years I'll like him, but it's a bad start. It's a and Naked Hot Dog is taking me out cryo for your own selfish purposes. So this is
Wow.
Paul scale.
Paul, that's one of your best ones. That's a pretty good one. I didn't know where you were going with the I'm Jennifer Lawrence, but you landed that perfectly. I have to
Hey,
say.
wait. Thank you.
I understand where you're going. I guess my thing about Paul Wesley is
He
when
rules.
you've got I just so for so long I'm used to Shatner
Mhm.
as Kirk. And then Abrams introduces me to Chris Klein.
It's really
Chris
hard to
Pine.
keep. Chris Pine is
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
is
Yes.
yeah, is so charismatic and beautiful. It is a really hard thing to live up to.
Well, you say I agree, charismatic and beautiful. I would also say he's just cool. Like he is so cool that you can't help to look at him and be like, "Yo, I
Have
would
you
hang
seen
out with that dude."
there's
Like I would so hang out with that dude.
there's like whole TikTok accounts and social media accounts that are just like Chris Pine dressed as a non-binary lesbian, and it's just like all of his outfits from running around town. They're great outfits. 10 out of 10.
I just
And he gets paparazzi'd outside of the bookstore all the time, and he always makes sure to turn the book so you can see what books he's getting.
Like Chris Pine's brother is one of the backup dancers in the Barbie movie Like, he's this tall dude dancing next to side with Simo Liu, and I'm going like, oh, what it must be like to be like Chris Pine's other guy, anyway, but
But what I guess where I'm going is nothing against Paul Wesley. He seems like a fine actor, actually. Like I have no comments.
He's
It's just
very
there's
good.
something. He's very good. There's just his portrayal of Kirk lacks this coolness that makes me want to be, yo, that's my captain,
yeah, no,
right?
I feel you, but like this last episode, 10 out of 10 Kirk, no, not this last one, but the one before.
He's cool. Look at him.
You're like,
He is cool.
Look at that.
Rock hard abs too, but he is.
and if he can pull the path, I will go like, hey, I wasn't on board for you, but like it you turned the ship, like, and I'm fine with that. Like like I think that's great. I'm not I'm no longer closed to the possibility.
But
That's
That
good.
I guess my issue with is so if you look at the captains that we've had, right? So yes, you've got Shatner, but you look at Picard, you look at Janeway, you look at Cisco, you look at
even
Michelle
Archer,
Yeoh, right? Even Archer, like Scott Bakula has some coolness to him.
Archer.
He does.
even Archer. That's what
Archer's tough.
Clyde tried to make
Yeah,
a point. Even Archer.
Charisma
but
void Archer. Yeah.
but I'm a Scott Bakula fan, actually. Like he was great in Quantum Leap.
Mhm.
So but when you look at these captains, there's something about them that has this gravitas that draws you in, and you're like, man, that dude, like if whether it's this Shakespearean wisdom or this grittiness to it,
But
it's
we're at the
something.
beginning of that journey for Paul Wesley's Kirk, and so I think it's like you got to
Yeah,
give
no.
it a little grace to build,
Yeah, I think he's really well written too as a young Kirk, and
Mhm.
I think he does have a lot of charm and swagger, befitting of a young, not fully cooked Kirk. I think it
So,
works.
so here's the
Pine was
reason.
a not fully cooked Kirk, and he
But
oozed like
okay,
swag.
here,
But
here's where it is. No. Here's where it is.
Paul Wesley's a good TV Kirk,
Yes. And
Mhm.
here is the thing.
not a movie
It's the
Kirk.
way these Kirks have been introduced to us is the other thing.
Mhm.
We have this
Yes.
Kirk walking
Yes.
on and being respectful of another captain, being a guest on a ship.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not seeing full swag.
And
Yeah.
We're
eating
intro-
a naked hot dog. Yes.
and we're introduced to Pine's Kirk sleeping with
As
a
a young
hot
man,
babe.
well, and drive and
getting
as
in
a
a
young
driving-
boy
bar fight,
driving a car
yeah.
off a
Yes.
cliff.
You're
Like,
seeing badassery. You're seeing the
Yeah.
swagger. You're seeing the
Yes.
charisma, the machismo. Like you're seeing all of it in those first 5 minutes of that introduction, which was like a very smart
with a
move on
Beastie
Abrams.
Boy
Exactly.
soundtrack behind him. Like there's
Yes.
just
Can't stand it. I want to play it. Yeah. No. So here's what happened, Clyde. Oh,
I don't know.
What happened to Clyde?
but
I
he
lost my camera.
There he is.
here's the thing. That's right. Here's the thing. When we first get introduced to
Where's the camera?
Paul Wesley,
Hmm.
we get introduced to him in season 1 finale. Like Quality of Mercy, right? And he is actually fully baked Kirk at that point, because Kirk in that time, 10 years of Kirk, he's the one who did the other thing.
Right.
So that Kirk that I saw Paul Wesley play was not my Kirk. I don't my Kirk that Paul Wesley plays is actually on whatever the TV show was in the other episode, the last episode. What's the show?
Yeah, they had Space Adventure Time.
Yeah, Space Adventure Time. So there is a little bit of inconsistency there. Like I'm going to give it that space. And this shows me what he can become. I'm sure he wants to be more than the footsteps, the footprints that have been laid out for him. And I give him that space too. Not one show is not one episode. It's gonna be a slow arc, right? To
Mhm.
Yeah.
change. It isn't gonna be one anyway.
Yeah,
But
I digress.
I'm open. But I
Oh, well
digress.
Yeah. Well, next week we are diving into, let's see, we have an episode written by David Reed and Bill Walkoff. So we will see what is in store for us next week. Any other thoughts or opinions before we wrap it up, y'all?
Middle of the road placeholder episode for the most part. Hopefully, what was set up here pays off, and I'm here for more Lon and Spock romance if that's actually going to happen. So yeah,
It's not. We know how it ends.
but come on, when has that argument ever made sense in this show?
I'm just
They
saying,
do
like,
it. They do whatever the hell they want.
fair. Like,
Wow.
like
Go ahead, Paul.
my hope is that they don't kill off Lon.
Yeah,
That's my
Yeah.
hope. That's my
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah, I don't-
But Patel is dead. She's dead woman
Probably.
walking. Like, that's not. We're not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
and I hope that they give her a good send off. She, like I said, I am so excited for a power appropriate captain's relationship.
yeah.
I need to see more of what's going on with Ortegas, and I want to go back to that. I'm all for the dynamics between Lon and Spock. I'm ready to see this crew do what it does best.
Mhm.
This was a fine episode. I'm excited for next week and what's going. I feel like we've gotten a lot more character development from Mbenga and with Babs, so that's going well. So I love what's going on. Again, I say this every season. You're giving me 10, I could go with 20 and be really, really happy. So
Oh,
let's keep going.
I have a food for thought. So somewhere in the next 5, we're gonna have the Vulcan episode, right? Where
Yeah,
a bunch of
4.5 Vulcans is episode 8. Yeah.
okay, and so La'an's one of those Vulcans, right?
Yes.
I wonder if that's gonna impact their relationship.
Yes, and we'll have a long discussion about how your genetics don't change your personality.
Oh,
So,
the 23andMe episode. Got it.
As long as there's ballroom dancing, I'm good.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm wondering if something next week is also Vulcan related because it's entitled "The Sahat Who Ate Its Tail," and the Sahat is a Vulcan creature.
Oh,
It's like
Is that the
Yeah.
pet Spock had in the
I
animated
think so.
episode when he was a kid?
I think so. Yeah.
oh, what was Spock's fiance's name again?
I was just about to say the same. Go ahead, Paul.
What?
What Spock's
His
fiance?
old fiance name. It was like
Because she's still
Oh, yeah.
because like she'll wind up engaged to Spock again.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mhm.
like,
Right.
can we get a scene with all the Spock and his
T'Pring.
ladies? T'Pring.
and-
So you got T'Pring, Chapel, and Lon all in a room.
like Spock
That would be mad
Spock is
awkward.
racking up a body count, and but I of the people who I think Spock would do best with, I prefer T'Pring the most.
Mhm.
T'Pring's
It's pretty-
awesome. I like
Yeah.
T'Pring.
Hey, when is Patton Oswalt showing up? Is that next week? Do
Oh,
we
I
know?
don't know.
Okay.
I don't think we know yet, but
Because
it'll
he's
be-
playing a Vulcan. I wonder if they're going to make him Cybok.
Yeah, it could either be episode 6 or episode 8.
Oh,
Um,
is he playing
potentially.
Cybok?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
That would be perfect. I would
That'd be
love
fun.
that. I would love
Yeah.
that.
That'd be
Anyway.
interesting. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We will be back next week with a live episode. Until next time, live long and prosper. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Matash.